Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. History of Islamic banking, basic concept and basic principle of policy development and roadmap operational concept, contract in transaction laws and regulation of Sharia banking and its institution. Definition of Sharia banking banks are basically entities that collect funds from the public in the form of financing or in other words carry out the function of financial intermediation. According to law number 21 of 28 concerning Sharia banking, Sharia banks are banks that carry out business activities based on Sharia principle or Islamic legal principle regulated in the fatwa of the ulama council such as the principle justice and balance. In addition, the Sharia banking law also mandates Islamic banks to carry out social function by carrying out functions such as Baitul Mal institution, namely receiving funds from zakat, infaq, alms, grants, or other social funds and consigning them to wakaf managers. From the aspect of implementing the principle of prudence and good governance is carried out by the OJK, as is the case with conventional banking, but with a regulation and supervision system that is adjusted to the peculiarities of the Sharia banking operational system. Compliance with Sharia principle is very fundamental because this is the basic reason for the existence of Islamic banks. In addition, compliance with Sharia principle is seen as the strength of Islamic banks. By being consistent with basic norm and Sharia principle, the benefit in the form of system stability, fairness in contract, and the realization of good governance can be realized. Concerning Sharia banking gives authority the MOE whose functions are carried out by its special authority, namely the TSNMUE. Regulation, now called POJK, confirms that all Islamic banking products may only be offered to the public after the bank has received a fatwa from TSNMUE. Supervisory Board or TPS, whose functions are twofold. Firstly, the Sharia supervisory function, and the second, an advisory function when the bank is faced with questions about whether an activity is Sharia compliant or not. In addition to this function, Sharia banking is also directed to have an internal audit function that focuses on monitoring Sharia compliance to assist TPS. Islamic banks consist of commercial banks and Sharia people's financing banks are called BPRS, with the main difference that BPRS are prohibited from accepting deposits in the form of demand deposit and participating in payment system traffics. Business units are called UUs from conventional commercial banks. The distribution is similar to that of conventional banks, and as regulated in the banking law, the Sharia banking law also requires that any party conducting activities to raise public funds in the form of savings or investment based on Sharia principle must first obtain OJK permission. Objective and function of Sharia banking in conducting its business activities is based on Sharia principle. Sharia banking aims to support the implementation of national development in order to improve justice, togetherness, and equitable distribution of people's welfare. Islamic banks and UUs can carry out social function in the form of Baitul Mal institution, namely receiving funds from zakat, infaq, grants, or other social funds and channeling them to zakat management organization. Islamic banks and UUs can collect social funds originating from cash wakaf and distribute them to wakaf or nazir in accordance with the will of the wakaf giver. The implementation of social function as referred to in paragraph and Sharia banking structure based on its activities. Sharia banks are divided into Sharia commercial banks, Sharia business unit, and Sharia people financing bank. Sharia commercial bank is a Sharia which its activities provide service in payment traffics. Principal collects fund in the form of investment, in the form of deposits, savings, or other equivalent form based on mudarabah contracts or other contract that do not conflict with Sharia principle. Distribute provides sharing financing based on mudarabah contracts, musyarakah contract, or other contract that do not conflict with Sharia principle. Disbursing financing based on a murabah contract, salam contract, istisna contract, or other contract that doesn't conflict with Sharia principle. Distribute financing for the rental of movable or immovable goods to the customer based on an ijara contract and are lease purchased in the form of ijara fomitia bitamul or other contracts that do not conflict with the Sharia principle. Based on Sharia principle, buy, sell, or guarantee at your own risk third-party securities issued on the basis of real transaction. That's all from me. Thank you.